Hi and welcome to Bob the Influencer on Bob's Radio. My name is Rio Raymond, and in the company of me is Yathish Reddy, a Bangalore boy. Can we call you Bangalore boy? Yes. I like the glee when I say Bangalore boy. Welcome to Bob's Radio, Yathish.
Thank you.
Yathish, I believe you are not someone who's just doing the influencer work. You're also someone who works in the corporate. It is a lifestyle. It is a sort of a thing that a lot of people will figure how to do, having two careers.
Yes.
We're going to dive deeper into that. But before that, how did it all start for you? Like, doing food, fashion, lifestyle, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Food, lifestyle, and travel. How did it start for you on Instagram?
Yeah, so basically I'm an extrovert person who is very interested in all this food and traveling also. So back in 2020, due to the lockdown, I used to scroll a lot of reels and all. And even before that, I have a lot of friends group. So college, school, as well as my company. So we used to frequently hang out, and every weekend I used to travel some or the other way, looking for some restaurants or going on bike rides, and I used to explore a lot. So in that interest, after seeing all the reels in 2021, that's when I got an idea, okay, I should also start something, because people used to call me and ask me for recommendations. Like, I want to go out with my husband, or I want to go out with friends, suggest me a place, or suggest me a place for a long rides, or some nice stay places and all. So that's when I feel like, okay, I should something. I'm good at recommending places, so I thought I should also start. So initially I started with food blogging, but I also love traveling. So I used to, every year, 1 or 2 trips I used to go with, hang out with my friends. So I started recording, and I also started into travel blogging as well, and then into lifestyle. Yeah.
Right. So it started with food, but then
Food,
eventually
yes.
went into the other lines.
Yes.
Now, for someone who says I started recommending places to a lot of people, for some people who may watch this and come in from a certain time of Bangalore, like, dude, when we are also influencers of our time. Like, when I'm saying without the Instagrams, we used to ask people, okay, where do you think we can go? I'm going to take my girlfriend out. I'm going to take my family out. Where do you go? I'm guessing these are people who are back in the day. But there is something similar from that Bangalore to this Bangalore is food.
Yes.
It is transcended over time. Yeah. Now, how do you see this as an influencer in terms of there's a lot of fusion elements that come in?
There's a lot,
right? Yes. Now, there is one thing, okay, we are good with the traditional sort of dishes, but when you put the two of them together and serve it to the city, how does an influencer like you look at it, apart from the business side of it?
Basically, before, we would just have to go for some breakfast. We would always crave for a good masala dosa. But now there's a lot of fusion in that. So they'll add some cheese, they'll add some butter. So now all the people are expecting a lot of change in life, and they're expecting new things. So that's when this fusion concept has come off, as what I feel. And yeah, I don't know. It's very weird about that. Yeah, it's kind of sometimes good, and sometimes some people might not like it, and it's all about individual perspective, how they take it and how they try it out.
So you're saying it's okay to evolve and ideate and experiment, but then your limits to where draw the lines as well.
Yes, exactly. So you should give it a try. Like how when businesses are starting up, which means they want people to try it out. So you should definitely give it a try. If you like it, you can start continuing it, or maybe try exploring more such places. If not, you can stick to what your OG thing is, like stick on.
So do you think chocolate ice cream on dosa works?
No, I wouldn't recommend that, because I have never tried that till date. I have tried.
It's just a random thought of it, because I know when we were young, we used to have folks make dosa with sugar on it.
Yes.
And we just have it with just sweet dosa or just jaggery on it. But then today,
my grandmother used to feed me dosa with sugar, with coffee. So I still remember that. But that is when there's no curry or something like that. But now adding ice cream, adding chocolate is way beyond.
No, what I'm trying to say is, of course, we used to have a dip or the dollop of these things. But what I'm trying to say is, they used to be like, when our folks used to make the dosa, they used to sprinkle sugar on it as well, and sometimes even jaggery too.
Right.
And you don't need anything to dip, but just eat just like
eat
that. Not like a savory, but more like a dessert crepe or something of that sort. Right. But when you look at this, it's like, no, you don't even push the envelope that side.
Exactly.
But when you talk about food, there's one thing I want to ask you is, you're into food, travel, and lifestyle.
Right.
So let me frame this out for you. Is food a lifestyle that you travel for?
Yes. See, for example, I travel to any city. what is the first thing that I would like to understand is what are the major hotspots and what is the kind of food that they follow and what is the culture or tradition that they follow. For example, if I go to Madurai, Tamil Nadu, so there's a lot of non-veg.
Right.
Even though it is called a temple city, there's a lot of temples, there's a lot of non-veg content in that. So you try to explore the masalas that they use and the way of serving the food, the way of preparing, it's very different. The same way when I go to Varkala, so it's in Kerala, right? So the seafood is completely different. So as in when I go travel, I like to try the food which is very famous over
Right.
there. So that's how you can, in the mix of food and travel, along with that, lifestyle is something new which eventually started after coming to blogging.
Okay. Oh, so you're also a blogger.
Yes.
Oh, nice. So it's good. It's good to know about a lot of people who are influencers who have some blogging history, because it is from there is where how all of this kicks off, right? Now, there's one side of it in terms of food, and then you starting in during the COVID era.
Post-COVID, yeah.
Post-COVID era.
Yes.
So I'm guessing after the first phase or the second phase.
Second phase, yeah.
Yeah. So where was it because there were a lot of people putting food videos from houses, or you said, okay, I want to go out and try this place and recommend to people, because there'll be a lot more who are stuck at home can come out to these places.
I was an enthusiastic person who used to go and try, and I used to click pictures and post it on my Google reviews. That's what I used to do since beginning. And next, what's next? So I wanted to recommend or suggest other people also to try, and that was a trend that was happening. So I wanted to start something new apart from my work life. Yeah.
So, and then you try this out, but you were working from home, I'm guessing, at that time.
Yes, now it's work from home, but it's hybrid.
Hybrid.
4 days, yeah.
So you still have time to get
Yes.
things. So you're saying in the 4 years you've amassed about close to 30,000 followers.
Yes, 38 now.
38 now.
Yeah.
And it's all in just the 4 years.
2.5 years, not 4 years.
Wow, that's damn good, man.
Yes.
And a lot of people also in today's time, because they make a big hue and cry about social media numbers, there are other small agencies that prop out who build your following.
Correct.
Like Path Social is one of them, and there are many that help you grow your following.
Right.
Are these organic, and do you think these work?
I'm completely not sure about that, but I started my blogging journey with the Android phone OnePlus, which I had, and it took me 1 year exactly. In Jan I started, and it took me December 20th is when I gained 1,000 followers.
Okay.
So it took me 1 year to gain 1,000 followers. Another 2 months for remaining 9k followers. So within 2 months I got remaining 9k. I crossed 10k within March. So within 2-3 months. So since today I haven't boosted any reel, or I have organic followers in my account, so I always stick to that way. And I initially you will have a thought of like, I'm not gaining followers, I'm not getting followers, wherein there are influencers who got 1,000 followers in just 1 week and becoming 100k in just less than a year. So there are influencers like that, but looking at them, I was not into.
It bites into your organic.
Yes, but I'm not
content.
into followers. I'm not into numbers. And now most of the brands are also not looking into numbers. They're looking into the content. How unique you're doing your content is what brands are looking. Yeah. So
that's a very good thing to say, because a lot of people today, I mean, I speak to some influencers, they say, I have my following and I also run a marketing company. So what does the marketing company do? It creates content for brands. But actually, in its true sense, the brand comes to them because of the following that they have. At least used to be the case. Today, I think brands become a little more aware that they want to see what content you'll drive for them, which is what mainstream media used to do. But again, do you think when you look at all of this today, do you think mainstream media can come back to its prominence with such amount of flexibility given to every person on the gram who can become an influencer or a content creator who can help a brand grow?
Now you can see the influencers count has rapidly increased a lot. So there's no age limit for that. So there's a 10th standard guy who started food blogging, and there's also a 40 years old woman who started blogging. So there's no age limit for that. So it's all about the content, and it's all about how unique you portray the content. And Yeah, the brands are looking into. Initially, there was like brands see the number of followers they have. It means that they would reach wider audience. So they used to prefer those kind of marketing company or those kind of influencers for promoting. Now it's all about how unique you're creating content and how engagement. There, look, what's the engagement on your reel? Number of shares, number of comments and likes, and number of saves. So based on the reach that you have, the brands are selecting the influencers for promoting.
Let's say it's very difficult for someone like who, I mean, say for example, for someone like me to put content out like this, and say I'm doing something about Bangalore content, about the old school Bangalore days. My shares are not going to be as much. My views are not going to be as much. My interaction, of course, is not going to be as much compared to something to do with that of a food sort of a thing. But then again, when I go into a brand that talks about Bangalore, then how does that make sense to someone to come with me? Well, I'll do my content well, but the shares and numbers don't show value. So it's still a number game then, don't you think so?
Yeah, that is.
Because there is like even somebody was saying that certain industries are hiring talent based on the number of following they have. Right? And which takes away the credibility of the person being anything but from social media.
Yes. Because now there are a lot of influencers who are putting a lot of efforts in coming to scripting, editing, shooting, and they're also hiring editors in order to make it more
presentable
and
aesthetically.
So all those things are there, but there's some lack of followers in that, or there's no good engagement. The reels, if you look at the video, it's amazing, but there's no good views for that, and there's no shares. So it's very a different game. Instagram is the algorithm of Instagram is very different, so you can't understand how it goes. So you just have to stick on to what you're doing, give your 100%, and one or the other day you'll get the identity or the reach that you are looking for.
You know, one side to us is one, we do a lot of Bangalore related content. The other thing is all about independent artists and independent music. Now, when we look at independent artists, independent music, it's something that's done by themselves. And in most cases, these musicians at times have an alternate career or a side gig for themselves because they have to put the bread on the table. When it comes to influencers today, like you said, there are too many of them out there. Someone with even 1,200 followers or 1,500 followers is an influencer of their own kind. When you look at something like this, do you think people should have another career, or just say, okay, you're an influencer, go ahead and...
No, I would totally recommend that. You should have a full-time career that will take care of your needs, everything. So living in this metropolitan city is definitely not easy. Well, you have to have a comfort life, so you should have a stable income for that. So that is what we have studied, right? We have completed graduates and we are graduates now, and we should have our job, a full-time job. That apart from that, for me, blogging is a passion. Like content creation is a passion, and that's how I started. In the passion of food and traveling is how I started, and now I work in night shifts, so that's how I manage my day. And my office also know about this, and so they are also fine with that. So that's how I manage day work as well as my content. And in all the free time that I get, I always make sure how to travel, where to travel, how to explore new places. And the biggest support is my friends.
Okay.
So wherever I go, so they give me a lot of suggestions, and that's how I plan.
I think a lot of companies are also very proactively encouraging and motivating their employees in terms of having a second career, but as long as it's not moonlighting or it's not as unethically played around, like in a competition of sorts or something the same industry as per se. So I'm guessing that's the case. We see a lot of influencers running dual jobs and stuff. Now, before I go on to the fun side, let me ask you one thing about Instagram. There has been a lot of thoughts on how Instagram is going to, if not die down, lose its substantial position as to where it is at this point in time. Like everyone's out there on the gram. It's today people say YouTube is better and sorts of things. But do you think Instagram will not die but lose its prominence? Like they say, it's a bubble that's about to burst.
Yeah, maybe like how TikTok it is. So Instagram is actually helping a lot of people to start up their career or to start something new in their life. But as you said, it's like a bubble on the water. We never know what was going to happen. But if you are using it in the right way, then you will definitely see wonders out of it, and you will stand up, and you will see what you are, and you will get to know what you in yourself. And yeah, that's how it is.
There's one thing about a lot to do with tech. When it hits you and it gets all the attention it does, it's going to grow and it's got that little saturation time. It'll like be very, very prominent. But then people will start feeling redundant and saturated on that particular thing and it'll start dipping. And that's the case with a lot of platforms as well, where the consumption has dropped because, or not just repetition, but because it's the algorithm that takes control of you and not you having a control of something of that sorts. So that's why when I meet people as well, I have this very old school thought of a conversation where it's all about what do you own today apart from your house, because everything is on the cloud. Your music is on the cloud, your content is on the cloud, and your data is on the cloud. So apart from anything physical that you possess, there's nothing else that you own. So we're heading in that direction. I believe our house is also be in a cloud one day. I don't know how that's going to happen. But coming on to the other side, who, like in terms of food, who is your favorite food blogger?
Okay. So back then when I started following food bloggers, the first blogger that I followed was Naveen, Bangalore Epic.
Oh, okay.
The OG person. So I used to see like morning for a breakfast, he'll visit one place. For lunch, he used to visit one place. For dinner, he used to visit different place. I was like, how are they even managing their health? Because I used to be a very health conscious person. I used to work out very crazily and I had a very good health according to me. So then I used to, by seeing there, I used to crave for a lot of food, and I have saved a lot of places and I've visited a lot of places which Naveen has suggested. Apart from that, there's Grub Mode.
Okay, that's Vaishnavi. I think Grub Mode. Okay, Grub Mode.
Yeah. And So Bengaluru.
Okay.
So I used to follow these, and Shruti.
Okay.
Chili Studio.
Okay.
So these are the 3 to 4 influencers I used to follow like at least 1 or 2 years back in 2019, 2020. And yeah, that's when I also feel like, okay, I should also start something. They're creating such great content. So they inspired me to make these content.
I mean, Naveen is a name that reverberates across the city when it comes to food.
Definitely.
The others, Grub Mode, I think I've heard of, but the others are also, I'm guessing they've done their bit and do share over time to inspire people like you. When it comes to food programs that you love, I'm sure we all have grown up watching something back in the day, whether it's NDTV Good Times or Travel and Living. What was it? Was there a show that you looked and said, okay, watched and said, I want to be like this one day?
Not much, because I wasn't watching much of that, but there are few YouTube videos that I used to watch. And my mom used to watch a Telugu recipe, like cookery show. So looking at that, me and my mom, we used to experiment in foods and we used to try a lot of different recipes.
Okay, but home. Do you know to cook now?
A little bit, not much.
I mean, that's a modesty about a lot of men like you and I, who know a little bit, but you know, when you ask to cook, it's like putting pressure on them. But know a little bit, just manage.
Yeah. I help my mom in preparing all the authentic dishes, especially during the festivals, making kadabu or holige or kajaya. I used to help her, so we both are good in.
Then I think we can, because I also think I can do a couple of things, but I say to people, no. Added pressure then, but I think we can manage.
Yes,
I think that's the right word to say. When it comes to travel, bro, I know we all travel for food. When you go to Mangalore, it's the seafood. When you go to Tamil Nadu, it's again the spicy non-veg stuff.
Yes.
When you go to Kerala, it's again like something to do with the coconut flavored food,
Yes.
a lot to do with the beef. Then you go to Goa, again seafood and pork of sorts. So if you were to choose one place in India that you would love to visit time and again, and for one particular dish, what would that be? Where would that be, sorry?
Kerala, Onam Sadhya.
Onam Sadhya in Kerala.
I really loved it. Yeah.
Okay.
Once in 2018, I went to my friend's place. He is my college mate, so he took us to his home for Onam, and I loved the food over there. So especially the boiled rice and the fish curry that they give every meal. You will have small fish at the side. So it's amazing. So I would love to go back to there. Apart from that, I love Bangalore food. It's very comfort and.
Wait, when you say Bangalore food, what is Bangalore food? Because we have a mix of different cultures. So what, according to you?
For me especially, my comfort food is ragi mudde. Every night dinner at our home is ragi mudde with some sambar.
Okay.
So saru. So that is my very comfort food. I can digest at any point of time. So no matter what. Apart from that, for breakfast I love masala dosas, and yeah. And evening chats, I love the Bangarpet chats.
Okay.
It's really good. I love them. Yeah.
So you have like a routine set. In the morning, my breakfast, lunch is this, evening chats and a dinner.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to. I will try a different food, but I wouldn't try to take chance because you never know.
Which side of Bangalore do you stay at, man?
South Bangalore, Bannerghatta Road.
My God, every food blog I've been getting is from that side of town. There's
South
something
Bangalore.
about that side and the food that you
Yes.
guys want to go about doing,
Yeah.
content on it. So I'm guessing you eat non-veg?
Yes.
All right. Now let me ask you. I've asked a lot of the guys who've come. Most of them are vegetarian, and they've always given me this answer. But let me ask you: does veg biryani exist?
For me, it's palau.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because every time I ask this, there is veg biryani. But
Yes.
there was one person who said there is nothing. There is veg biryani. But he also gave the definition about what biryani is. Brinj and yani is meat and goes together is what meat and rice together coming together is what is biryani. Otherwise, it's palau. Now, since you are someone from the Andhra background.
No, Bengaluru.
No, Bengaluru, of
Yes.
course, but I'm guessing since you watch a lot of the Telugu content and
Yes.
your food is more derived from Andhra,
Yes.
right? The home food. You're a Bangalore boy only, and I know this answer will be prone to Bangalore only, but let me still ask you. Hyderabad or Bangalore for the better biryani?
I have tried once Hyderabad biryani when I was in school, 10th standard. Now I am planning to go to Hyderabad. But my friends told that Hyderabad has a very good biryani, especially the bawarchi and all those things. I would like to try them personally, but as of now, I would still stick to Bangalore.
Please stick to it. Don't get disappointed when you go. I'll just give you a heads up on that. Like I've tried the 3 or 4 main places.
Okay.
It's a similar style of biryani. Maybe it's a kind of a style of making biryani. But in Bangalore, you have all kinds of...
All kinds, yes.
So you have the Dakni mem, you have the Kachi mem, and you have the Hyderabadi, you have the Amburs, you have Talesheri. You name it, you get everything.
Yes.
So that's one. Now the second thing is your favorite non-veg place in the city.
Favorite non-veg place? For biryani, I would stick to Meghana's or Shanmuka. And Shanmuka also has a really good biryani. And the starters are something that I can go back and try every time. Shanmuka and Meghana's.
You just sounded like a vegetarian food blogger right now. But I'm not saying I'm against Meghna, but a lot of people would not consider Meghna biryani because the meat is cooked separately and so is the rice.
Yeah,
right.
I know, but you open Zomato, you crave for biryani. What is the first thing that you go search for? I would always search for Meghna.
See, you don't say you, but you should say for yourself.
Okay, no matter what, but in our office also, whenever we want to order biryani, we'll go search for Meghana's as well.
Wouldn't that be pulao and some chicken starter?
Once in a while we would try that, but Meghana's is something that...
No, that's what I'm calling as pulao and chicken starter.
Yes, kind of.
Kind of? You agree?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but if it's basmati rice, biryani, I'll stick to biryani.
They make basmati, they make pulao with basmati rice too.
For me, pulao is the Nati style. Authentic pulao.
Okay, I don't think we'll agree to on some point here, but either ways, this is something that I try to have a banter with people to understand what exactly they think of it. Because for me, Meghna, a lot of people otherwise also, I'm not saying it's bad, but call it biryani when it is made together with everything else, right? That's one part. Now, are you someone who goes midnight food hunting as well?
Yes.
I like the way you just lit up with that thought. Which is your favorite area?
Recently, I had been to Banshankari site. There's a small idli place. There was no name, but later some food blogger named it. I forgot the name. You get some really good idlis over there. And in the midnight, I have tried the food cart which is near BTM and which is near Vega City, JP Nagar, and also the Devegowda petrol bunk. So these 3 food carts I've tried.
So you don't go outside your area?
Yeah, these are the 3 South Bangalore places we stick to. I go to these places.
I think it's only the people in CBD, like Central Bangalore, who go this side and this side and figure out what is there.
Yeah.
But that's again the perks of being around in the in the middle.
Yeah.
But if you were to give me your top 5 recommendations in the city for your top 5 respective breakfast.
Yeah, the first is for breakfast, Taza Tindi. I love their breakfast, affordable and hygienic, and the best proper breakfast that I can have. Apart from that, Rahi, it's a neo bar and kitchen in Residence Road.
Okay.
The food is amazing. Coming to the presentation, the taste and the service, and the knowledge that every server has, it's amazing over there. And Street Stories, it's a fine dine restaurant in Indranagar. best vegetarian food. There's a fusion of it, but it's amazing. And for Pan Asian cuisine that I would love to try is Food Springs in Chinagar.
Okay.
The food is amazing over there. And Shanmuka, the biryanis and the non-veg starters I love. So these are the 5 top
These 5.
recommendations. Yes.
I don't know if you're going to say the same thing I'm thinking because you come from that side, but if you were to choose one area and name that area in Bangalore and say this is the best place for food in Bangalore, what would you say?
Right now, I would suggest JP Nagar and Chinagar.
Such a South Bangalore guy, no? You just never give up.
Kormangla also has some really nice food over there, but too much of crowd, too much of pop culture over there. So
too much of pop culture, like Kora, you mean?
Too much of Gen Z, but I would stick to Jayanagar, to JP Nagar, very authentic and really.
I think we've come to a time. I was talking to a very famous DJ as well a couple of days ago who mentioned about how we are stuck in places that we stay at. Because it's easier to commute to certain places and come because your crowd is there.
Yeah, and you know where to go,
yeah,
you know where to find things.
And the best part is where you go, you know the people there also.
Yes, exactly.
So you're just comfortable. And then back in the day, we used to travel here and there, but now that is beyond a dream as well.
Yes. Now we still travel. Indranagar, Kormangla, HSR. I keep traveling very often to those places, but still, if you give me an option where to, I would still stick to JP Nagar, Jayanagar.
Would you do this if you were dating someone from, like, say you're staying in Jayanagar, JP Nagar, and your girlfriend stays? I mean, I'm saying hypothetically, your girlfriend stays in Yelahanka. Would you still make it a point to meet them? How often would you meet them? Just say, let's say this. Are you dating single, married?
No, I'm single.
Okay. Yeah. Hypothetically, there's a girl staying in Yelahanka and you really like her. So, in a week, how often would you meet her?
Maybe once in 2-3 weeks.
Once in 2-3 weeks?
I would rather see the traffic is something it's difficult for both of us. Yeah, so it would be difficult for both of us, but maybe once in 2-3 weeks we would find some middle spot. We also we'll meet there in the center of Bangalore, MC Road, Church Street, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how this is not very influencing for people. We'll meet on the middle ground. I'm still a firm believer, like the old school ways, where the guy has to make a lot of effort. Has to travel. But we'd love a little bit more from coming from the other side. But what has to happen will happen. So thank you so much for coming by, man, and all the best for what you do.
Thank you.
And I hope we can do some food walk outside of South Bangalore sometime.
Yes, definitely. I would love.
Have you gone anywhere outside of South Bangalore apart from towards the north side of Bangalore?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you give us a name?
Fraser Town. I had been to there during the Ramzan time. Yes, I have been there.
Beyond that?
Beyond that, Yelahanka, few places.
Oh, so it's food what takes you there?
Yes.
But that's once in 6 months, I'm guessing.
Yes, exactly. And Devnalli, recently I had been to Devnalli to try some authentic Nati style food over there. And Hebbal, there are so many upcoming places in Hebbal. Sarjapur Road. So I have been to all the places in and around Bangalore, and recently I have to say there's Citrus Trail, which is inside a farm, and you have to cross the forest, Ranihalli forest, and the food is real good. The ambience is amazing. If someone asks me to suggest a place to go on a date or to have a quiet food or quiet time to spend, I would recommend Citrus Trail. It's inside a forest and a farmland coffee estate. It's amazing.
Have you been there with somebody?
Yes.
With somebody?
Yes.
And in spite of that, all that effort. Damn, man. Life is tough. But you're doing a good job with what you're doing.
Thank you.
And good luck to all that you want to be doing. And I hope you catch the train before Instagram crumbles itself down.
Yes.